Nick's off schedule. It's driving him
I
nuts.
am. Let's roll.
Start at 6:30.
Good evening. It's 7 p.m. on the night of November 18th, 2025. I want to call the LaGrange County Board of Zoning Appeals to order. Krista, can we have a roll call, please?
Lynn,
I'm here.
David,
Here.
Jerry,
Here.
Nick,
Here.
and Tyler.
Here.
Do we have a motion and a second to approve the amended agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the amended agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign, condition carried, or motion carried. Motion and a second to approve October meeting minutes.
There's no additions or corrections. I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve October meeting minutes. All in favor, say aye.
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 Pose same sign. They are approved. Any communications?
No, I have no.
Okay. Welcome to LaGrange County Board of Zoning Appeals. This is a 5-member board, all of whom reside within LaGrange County. Let it be known that as a petitioner, you are requesting a variance to build and/or operate outside of the ordinance of LaGrange County. It is the sole responsibility of the members of this board to make a decision on whether or not a variance shall be granted. So how this meeting works is the petitioner has 15 minutes to explain what they're trying to accomplish to be given a variance. If there are any remonsters, they will also have 15 minutes to voice their concerns. Then the petitioner will then have 5 minutes to try and answer any comments or questions brought up by the remonstrators. While presenting or speaking, make sure you are addressing the board and the board only, okay? Nobody in the audience. Does anybody have any questions? Perfect.
In Township, Section 4, Township 36 North, and Zone 32. It's located at 2685 South, 1000 West Shuswap, and asking for a developmental variance to maintain the distance of the existing buildings to the south property line. And the second developmental variance for 70% lot coverage, where 40 is allowed in the A2 zoning district. Here's our site plan. Bottom left corner here, you can see what they're proposing to add. Remove B, add in here. Is that a representative?
Good evening, Scott Ziegler with Hand of the Plow Surveying, representing the Beachy family here tonight in Stony Acres Woodworking. So I just want to say, first of all, as I come before you, I try to make it a point that you aren't our first stop. You are our last stop. And so the Beachies are here tonight. And I think as early this year, they contacted us about moving forward with a development plan. And I think they wanted to have a building up and operational by July of this year. And we started looking through all the processes of that, realized that wasn't going to be possible. And then we started looking at a number of different options. And we've run the gamut from looking at a plain unit development. We've looked at building an entire set of new buildings on the back portion of another adjoining property. Which there's about 100 acres here that's owned by the same family, just multi-generations there. We looked at moving the entire business down the road a couple of miles, and just really analyzed a whole number of things. And to give you a little history on the business, there's been woodworking there on the property since 1960. Is that right? We've done some form of woodworking, upholstery, things like that. Previous generations of family have worked there, started in a building and expanded, and they've been to you a number of times for variances and approvals. And as far as we know, everything we've done out there has been, by approval, either straight up or with a variance or whatnot there. And what we've got in the situation now is that we've got some older buildings that are definitely long past their life expectancy, and we really need to improve the workspace at an absolute minimum. The next generation is close to coming on board, but not there yet. So the concern is, we don't want to incur a tremendous amount of debt right now, such as building a brand new site, and then that debt have to pass on to the next generation. So really conscientious about, how we expand the operation there. So we're not necessarily looking at adding new employees as much as we really need to just tear down some old buildings and rebuild some buildings to make the workflow a lot better, make it more comfortable work environment, have better heating, and environmental type conditions in the building as well too. So basically what we're looking for is, if you see on the bottom left-hand corner there, that purple color, it would be the building that we would like to add on, which about 3/4 of that would be existing buildings already. We'd just be replacing those or encompassing those buildings. The engine room is in the very southeast corner there in a separate building, so that would be incorporated as part of the building in the very south westmost corner of the building. So if you were to stand at the road right now and look at the building, you see the larger building to the north. You're going to see set back just a little bit, which would be some of the other buildings, and then the engine room would be out front. So we're basically making that, one flush line across there. Same way from the south side, you're going to see the engine room on the left, the other building, so you're going to see all the building is just a depth thing. So we're really just squaring up that corner there is what we're really looking at doing. We're adding basically 5% or just under 5% of the current impervious surface that we have right now, buildings, concrete, all that. We'd be adding about 5% of additional impervious surface. So again, tearing down some buildings, adding some buildings in their place, and then about 5% additional impervious surface there. So we've got two variances before you. One would be the dimensional variance, to be at the closer setback line than what's currently allowed. I would note there was a plat, or this current plat has a south setback of 15 feet, where now we have a 25, but the current platted subdivision has a 15-foot side setback there to the south, which I think we're at 14, just under 15. So somebody was off a couple inches on the measurement when they put the shed up. But so that's what we're asking for on those variances. There would be to square that building up. From a practical standpoint, it doesn't make sense to add another building there, because then manufacturing would be in two separate buildings. So this makes the most sense. Elevation wise, again, the grade, nobody really thought 50 years in advance when they built the first building there. So we've got grade issues that need to be addressed. There's drainage issues that really need to be addressed. That the water now currently goes south. On the next property, we're proposing that we're going to grab all of, or as much as practical, of the entire developed water on this site and turn it north to the very northeast corner. There's a pond back there on another family member's property that actually needs water. It struggles to stay at a level that it should be at. So we would take all of our stormwater, or all as much as is practical possible, back to that. So again, dramatically improving the stormwater conditions there. Now, like I say, it's collected with some old catch basins, drains to the south on another family member, and kind of floods a cattle lot down there. So not an ideal situation. So this would allow us to be able to improve that situation there. So even though we're going to have about 70% coverage where 40 is allowed, again, that variance, we could grab more land and increase the footprint, but then we got to buy more land. And really, honestly, for what purpose? It would just be in the back, and it's really not, serving, in my mind, a great purpose there. I think some of the intent of the coverage would be a couple of fold. One, you're dealing with stormwater management, because obviously the more densely impervious surface you have, the more potential negative impacts you're going to have for an adjoining landowner. We're addressing those by collecting our stormwater and dealing with it on site, making that situation substantially better, even though we have 70% coverage. So we're definitely improving that situation. Another would be, let's say, visual appearance. Well, again, our visual appearance, I think, is going to actually be better with a new building that's all conforming and a nicer looking structure than, a multitude of old ones connected together. And then I think, again, if you look at the neighborhood, so if you had multiple 2-acre plots that had 70% coverage, I think we would probably have an issue then, or could have an issue. This is out in the country by itself, part of what is basically a 100-acre family farm, and we got a dense 2 acres out of that 100 there. If you zoom out and look at the bigger picture there, and I think across the road is a larger farm set up there too. So again, if we were talking about an in-town situation, a lake situation where we had very, very dense properties all stacked together, I agree, we would have an issue there. But in this scenario here, I don't really know as though the 2 acres and the 70% coverage is really detrimental to anybody in any way, shape, or form. If just the opposite, we're improving the situation there with that. So again, reason we're here, I think, is The business, as we move forward, the idea would be this expansion, this business, this use. And when we need to expand again, would be when we pass it over to the next generation in probably 5 to 10 years, we would anticipate, because the next generation is in the upper teens to early 20s. So once they're in a position to take over the business, one, we don't want to have them strapped with a bunch of debt. And this expansion would allow minimal debt compared to building a brand new facility. And the business would be, be able to continue to operate efficiently and effectively. So then the next generation would be able to be set up successfully without a bunch of debt that they would have to incur to take that over. So what we anticipate is when that happens, we would move to another site. We do have a piece of property about 2 miles to the south that we've started on the development side of looking at that as a possibility there. But whether it's that site or another site, the idea would be when the next generation takes it over, more than likely the business is physically going to expand, and then that needs a new site. So that would not happen here, and we would envision these buildings would just then be turned back into personal or agricultural use, or if there is a business for whatever reason, it would be, back in front of you guys here. So again, this is really a stopgap. We're not looking at this and then future expansions on this site. That's not the plan at all. And again, we've sorted through all of those options and scenarios. The long term would be, as the business physically needs to expand, would be into a new, bigger building that's more effectively laid out for that. But this kind of buys us that 5 or 10 years to get to the next generation taking over. So anything you guys want to add? Okay. So I'm glad to answer any questions.
Probably here in a few minutes. Anybody else want to speak in favor of this petition? Anybody want to remonstrate against this petition? We'll close the public hearing.
How many square feet under roof will you have then when we're all said and done here?
Hang on just a second here. I don't know if I got that. You guys know right offhand, there's a 60 by 120 and an 80 by 150. So 15, less than 20,000. We'll have to have firewalls in there. We know that there'll be multiple firewalls that'll be a part of this.
And how many employees did I read? 30?
I think there
30
is
plus?
30. Yeah, most of them would be Amish that bike or ride horse. I've been there when the business is operating, and there's like 1 or 2 cars around there. So it's
I saw probably 5, 6 pickups and a semi there when I was there.
probably
So,
delivery and
okay. There was a long discussion about limiting the size of these factories in the A2 zone at Plantation the other day, for a variety of reasons: infrastructure, stress on the roads,
Sure.
the increased density, the number of people that are now on the roads because of the population increase, the types of vehicles, buggy carts, buggies in general, Kubota trucks, regular tractors that they're using as pickups, and a variety of other things. So that's just something down the road for you to be aware of. And there seems to be support for that as well. So I don't know how many more 20,000, 30 plus employee factories we'll be putting up in the A2 zone. So you might want to locate more toward a major road
okay.
in the future rather than south.
So just to comment there, as it is right now, though, the current UDO does not restrict building sizes in an ag zone, correct?
That is true right now.
Okay.
That's right now.
Right, which is what's before us right now is
Hmm.
the current ordinance.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That doesn't mean we have to do it. This is a variance.
Right.
So the new building will be an increase of overall 5% lot coverage?
Yes, I think we have about 64,000 square foot of impervious surface.
So with that being said, you're currently at 65% lot coverage,
Yeah, they could be right. Yeah.
roughly.
Yeah, roughly.
And it sounds like the current setup has little to no drainage.
There is a couple of storm drains now, but they're just an old system, probably back in the 60s, I suppose they were installed, and the water is collected and runs basically south from this location into agricultural area and creates a flooding issue. I
So
wouldn't say flooding, but a wet condition area. So
we don't want wet conditions on cattle lots.
Not really,
So,
no. So we'd be collecting that and turning that.
so it would be
over.
basically an entire new drain plan for the entire property,
Yes,
and that's gonna go to the pond.
yes.
Does the pond have an outlet?
No, and it does, there's a huge bowl there and we have trouble keeping water there to begin with. So there's no outlet there for it now. We could put one if we need to, but there's no need for one now because we can't even keep it full the way it is.
Well,
But-
none of the rainwater is currently getting to that pond from here.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
once we do start sending it over there, you might have a full pond.
Yeah, and we'll look at an outlet there, but the pond currently does not have an outlet, like I say, typically because it's not full and it's not needed one. But it's a large depressional area there that probably, rough numbers, it can probably store without an outlet at least 2, if not 3, 100-year rain events back to back with no outlet physically in it. So again, we feel that's the best thing to do with the stormwater, again, in mitigation for the lot coverage issue. Again, we're at 65%, like you said, now we're going up to about 70%. And so again, improving that situation. So I guess, again, we're asking for that grace and we're again, improving the stormwater situation substantially there.
I think Lynn's major concern is, just last week, we saw during, Plan Commission that there's another business within a mile of this business that's growing significantly. And, I think maybe as a Plan Commission, if that's gonna continue on 1,000 West, maybe we should think about some sort of, possible change in zoning to where maybe the county can focus on some additional infrastructure there if this is going to be a play in the future. But,
And like I say, this should not increase traffic. We're not looking to do this to add more employees and expand more. The operation is basically, it's inefficient the way it is. We've used old buildings and made them work for the operation. It's just an inefficient workflow that we'd like to be more productive as a business. And that's a reason not to expand the business and grow.
but
Yes,
like you'd mentioned, within the next 5 to 10 years, when the next generation does come on and, hopefully they continue to have success, they're gonna want to, add on. And if we've got, a 100-acre farm here, maybe that will be, part of the addition somewhere within there.
We've talked that through. I don't really think that's an option. We've talked that kind of extensively. I don't know if you guys want to speak to that, but expanding on this site is not necessarily an option in the future, just the way the site and everything is laid out. It appears as though the best option moving forward would be to relocate that business to another location when the next generation takes over. That's part of the reason for not incurring a substantial amount of debt here by putting another new building on this site.
And then, even if this business did move, this would be an excellent opportunity for another business of smaller size with the capital already being there. So, I mean, plan on this to be, some sort of light industry, perpetually into the future. I personally feel.
And that's possible. They could speak to that if they wanted to. I think the intent was, though, that if the business moved, they would stay within the family. So unless the family were operating another business, they don't have any intent of selling this property or leasing it for another business to run there. They would just they do have older farm buildings, especially on the property to the south. So very possible they could just incorporate that as some of their personal or agricultural use of these buildings. But obviously we don't know the future. We don't know what the future holds. But it certainly is a possibility that this could continue as a business. But I believe it'd have to come back to you guys for site plan approval in that case.
This will go through site plan. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And we've got that fairly well prepared, just a matter of getting through the variance before we finalize the details.
How much fall do you have to get to that pond?
There's about 7 feet.
Is it that much? That's what I thought. Okay.
The buildings are about 895 elevation and the pond is about 879. So
Okay.
16 feet actually. So there's plenty of room to get
Yeah.
there.
Plenty of room.
It's just going to be a little bit of a haul to get there, but certainly doable from that standpoint.
It would not have required pumping or anything like
No,
that.
no.
Just- Yeah.
No,
yeah,
through
yeah.
gravity feed. Yeah.
Gravity feed. Yep, okay. So I did read in your comments that you wanted to use this owner, no expansion at this site as conditions for this.
That is our intent.
Is
Right?
that your intent?
Yeah.
Yes, that's your intent.
Make that as a motion. Okay.
Second.
We have a motion and second for us, motion and second for a condition. What was it?
This use, this owner, no expansion
No
at
expansion
this
at
site.
this site.
Yes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Post same sign, condition carries. Any other discussion?
If you kept this, if you did the setbacks that were LaGrange County's codes for setbacks, how much smaller would it make the addition?
Well, if you ignore the setbacks on the plat and apply the UDO setbacks, so there's debate over, can you use the setbacks on the plat or do you have to use the current ones? It'd be a 10-foot difference on the south side.
Okay.
But we already have a building that was approved there. That engine room was approved in that location. So we're just actually squaring up where that is right now. So we'd lose 10 feet on the south side, and
What about on the west side?
I didn't figure that offhand. It's 120-foot setback.
Okay, off the
Uh,
1,000, it's 120 feet.
Is that right, Robbie? Am I correct on that? for
Well, the
commercial?
current building,
110 from the pavement.
Yeah, so 120 roughly, and I think we're at, is it 90 now? Don't quote me
Okay, so
exactly.
then
So we'd
it's
be
20
back,
feet.
I think we'd be back to like the west side, or east side of the engine room, which would be 16 feet, 20 feet, I believe, on the west and 10 feet on the south. But again, it's going to make an odd shaped building to have to do that.
And the reason for that is if the loading is out front, there's plenty of room. And in this situation, the loading is not out front.
Yeah, this is just all building there. There's no traffic, no drives, no overhead doors or anything.
The loading and unloading's on the east side of the building.
East, yeah, correct. Yeah, the south side. In fact, I think there, if you have those views there or not, but I think it's just a few windows on the south side and a few windows on the west side.
Yeah.
So no overhead doors. Might be a service door, maybe, but
Are we safe that can't happen without them getting approval, right? The loading dock or something out towards the west?
well, we even have a septic systems out to the
septic
west. We've been driving
Okay,
over our
so no-
septic
no
systems.
chance
So
of that
practically
sneaking
speaking,
in.
that's it's not practical at all.
I don't think we would approve a site plan with that,
Yeah, no.
with doors there. They would not, that would not go through.
My question was if they wanted to do it, they'd have to come get a site plan.
It would have to be through the site plan approval.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we would get to see it.
Mhm.
Perfect. I'm good.
anything else?
No.
So vote.
The approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, and general welfare of the community. Lynn,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes,
Nick,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
The use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. Nick,
Yes.
Jerry,
yes,
Tyler,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
David.
Yes.
The strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property. Jerry,
yes,
Tyler,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
and Nick.
Yes. Petition's been approved. Thanks for coming in.
Both variances. Okay, great. Thank you.
Move on to the next one on our agenda, is 25B35, it's Lyman Township, section 21, Township 38 North, range 10 East, it's zoned L1. Excuse me, it's located at 6755 North, 270 East now, it's a developmental variance for an 18-foot roadside setback for a proposed garage, where 25 is required in the L1 zoning district. Here's our survey, this is what they're proposing to put in. Replacing this. Do I have a representative?
Yep.
Name and address, please.
Tony Glantz, 613 Colorado Street, Goshen, Indiana. So basically, yes, there's an old cottage there now. So for storage and everything else, it'd be better to have that there. The cottage is kind of run down and needs to be replaced, so it would be better in the neighborhood. I know they've been doing some improvements out there to other neighbors. I mean, trying to make everything look better, nicer. That's an older, I think, 50s? 40s cottage, so it's roof's kind of swayed and everything else. That it would definitely help with the neighbors getting that out of there, getting something in nice and neat where we can park stuff and do stuff.
Anything else? Anybody else want to speak in favor of this petition tonight? Anybody want to remonstrate against this petition tonight? Close the public hearing.
Is that road county road?
It's a,
It is.
okay, yep.
Are they gonna let two drives be that close together?
No,
No.
she's already refused the drive permit, correct?
What's that?
They've already, the county highway department's already refused a driveway permit for the new garage.
Well, yeah, we'd like to do cement out front, but they said that is too much driveway.
So there's no new cut there. If they want to access it, they have to access it off the existing driveway.
Okay.
Because
There's an email.
am I correct that the homeowner is directed adjacent, right? Like,
It's his, yeah, it's all his property.
It's just two cottages on one parcel. So they're removing the old cottage and putting in a garage.
does the garage have sewer in it?
No, there's a sewer on that lot, but we've already talked to the county. They want to pull the sewer. They said we could do that, pull the pump and everything else out of that parcel since it's all gonna be basically, it's all combined now as one parcel. It was, I think, 5.
But I guess the cottage essentially would have, there had to have been some sort of drive to, if there's a cottage.
Yeah, there's a drive down the bottom of it. Like, there's an entrance.
Can we go back to the aerial, please?
Yeah, there's no drive there.
I mean, you gotta have something to get to a cottage. You
There-
can't park
Down
on the
right
road.
side on the
Well,
bottom.
everybody parks on the road. It's a lake, so,
Not there, you can't.
well, they park right on the grass though. They just
Right.
pull.
I just know that we have an email from the county engineer that says there's no second driveway permitted there. They have to be 150 feet apart. They can have a 24-foot wide maximum driveway. And they already have a driveway with the cottage to the north that has an attached garage.
So at one time, this was 2 parcels, right? And they deleted,
That's correct. We had to delete the other parcel to get rid of the sewer system on that lot in order to build the boulevard.
can you stand up and name and address?
Property owner, James Vaughn. Physical address now is 7510 North, 725 East, Howe, Indiana.
So at one time, there would have been a drive for this
Not
cottage.
necessarily,
Th-
no.
There is a drive for the cottage right now. There is.
Yes.
I mean, there has to,
But what
I
I'm
mean,
saying is she's not going to issue a
Right.
permit for a driveway for them to access that garage off of that road.
Mhm.
They have to come in off of their existing driveway.
The one thing I will say to that is it's a dead end. Almost every residence that is down that road is there besides maybe, where's that end at Mickham's? There may be another 10 homes south of there. That's about it. There's not a lot of traffic up and down that road at all. I mean, kids run up and down there with their bikes. I mean, it's not a heavily traveled road. It's a typical lake access road.
oh, it looks like pull right at the south property line. Looks like there's,
Yeah, right beneath the house.
Well, there's no way that they can meet that standard of having that separation from the.
No, they can't put it on the bottom of the
No,
lot.
no, it's impossible. And even where the driveway is now to the current cottage, technically is against their rules, but it's already there. So,
Oh, gotcha. So you'd have to use the current driveway, turn hard south and go down and park in front of your garage.
or you just drive on the grass.
or just drive,
Or just drive over.
100% will.
right,
That's what
which
I'm
is
saying.
exactly what everybody does now. When
Right.
we have people out there, everybody parks, just pulls up in the yard. I mean, that's exactly what happens.
There's no parking there.
Other than that driveway in our house there with the cement pad, I mean, when we have like, 4th of July get-togethers and things like that, everybody just parks all up and down through there. It's constant.
Yeah.
I mean, if we have more than 3 people at our home, that's where people park.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, it's not a big deal in terms of traffic flow or anything.
Which
Yeah, I don't know that you can have a driveway there that's 150 feet apart.
You know, if you start measuring
impossible.
everything down through there, they're way closer than 150 feet, even existing drives to other
I know I
properties.
talked to her about that too. I said, in the area where it's impossible, how can you restrict them? And she said, we can't, but I won't give it to you.
Mhm.
So I didn't understand that. I mean,
She's talking about drives on, more than one drive on a parcel.
right,
They're not looking at the separation of the driveways for the other properties. She's looking at the second
Yes.
driveway added to yours has to be 150 feet apart.
Correct. And it was 2 parcels before I made it 1. And the only reason that I had to make it 1 was to remove the septic system that they
Right.
made me put on for the cottage that I was going to tear down anyway. So,
22.
correct. Yes, sir.
You got one, but now you're giving up the other.
Right.
I understand. But the variance is for the building, right?
Correct. They're asking for 18-foot setback from their property line or 25 is required.
Is that the roadside property line? Yeah.
But it's in line with the current.
It's exactly in line with the current cottage that's there.
Are there gonna be living quarters in that building?
No.
No?
No sewer, no water either.
Correct.
So it's a straight up shed.
And so we're not going to allow them to put the cement there, is that correct?
That's not up to us.
Well, it's on the site plan.
Yeah, the engineer's letter says that
I mean, if we're gonna,
if the proposal is approved by the BZA, the driveway will have to be reconfigured because it will not be approved as it is shown.
okay,
And you can't get a building permit until they have something from the highway department. So they're
Okay.
going to have to do their site plan to her satisfaction.
Mhm.
If it comes to concrete and driveway and so forth, before they would ever be able to get a building.
I'd like to add also that she refused to even come out and look at the property. She never even come out and looked. She
To
never,
assess it, nothing.
to assess it, to understand the situation or anything. I mean,
As I understand it, we can't control whether or not they pour concrete out to their
Lot coverage.
lot coverage. Right? So concrete is considered lot coverage without.
Oh, yeah. oh yeah, impervious surface.
Lot coverage, I don't think would really play in this.
The
role.
big lot is, I wonder if that would play in. I mean, but that'll all come in.
Through the building
There's
permit.
safety, there's safety guidelines in place for that. As far as the building lining up with the other things, taking an older cottage away, because the problem is it's already lumped in, so can't have 2 homes like that, right?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can now.
So you could fix that home up, but that's not gonna be what they want. So at the very least, it'll be a new building.
I'd wondered what, since it had a great big old air conditioner in it, I was wondering if that was a old cottage.
extremely old. My great grandfather actually built it. So
The stakes in the back didn't look like it would encroach on the neighbors' views or anything like that.
not at all. No, we're not. I've talked to all the neighbors. Obviously, nobody was here tonight to go against this, and nobody has a problem with it whatsoever.
Are you gonna create any more water drainage for your neighbor to the south?
Not at all. The grade won't change at all, honestly, with doing it. the way
Well,
we're
you're gonna
doing it.
cover more surface though.
Yeah, but it's just the only surface that we're covering further is towards my house.
Right, the
That-
south
that's it.
actually drops off and goes to the lake.
Yep.
I was there.
Okay.
Okay.
Tyler? Nothing.
So the garage is just marginally bigger than the existing house?
Correct. And it
What-
goes towards my current home closer, but we're still more than 10 feet away.
Oh, yeah, we're,
How tall are the overhead doors?
12.
12 feet.
Mhm.
Okay.
Typically, the homes are lakeside. the
What
garages are-
what are you storing in the garage?
We're actually moving, from about 7 miles from this location over to here. I'm selling my 10-acre parcel out by an area, my address that I gave you guys. And I have a boat, bunch of tools, side by sides, and her little sports car for the summer, just things like that. I mean, nothing,
So
basically a workshop, honestly. I
but
like
the
to
only
do it.
thing I'm really concerned about is having this nice garage with no driveway. And that's not really something we're deciding.
Right.
But as far as using it for storage or everyday use, if you don't have a driveway or anything in front other than just grass,
Mhm.
which, some lake properties have just grass in front of,
Right.
a storage shed. But if this is, an everyday garage, we're gonna have tire tracks in the yard.
We won't be
but-
parking there. We'll be parking in our garage, which is attached to the other home.
Like the sports car to get swapped out with the other one and parked at the house.
It comes out twice a year. I mean,
Okay,
honestly,
okay.
honestly.
That's the driveway's a little bit frustrating. Something-
frustrating.
Something I don't really understand, and I'm not gonna
don't
try to
either.
understand it.
And I was in his position for many, many years. We owned Shipshawana Homes before they bought it from
Right.
us. And I've been through a lot of these type of meetings and that's the first time in my life I've ever had anybody tell me I couldn't do something like that when
Right.
that property's all one
And
piece.
all she kept saying is, that's what it says in the book. That's what we're doing. I'm like,
Well, that's why we're
every
here,
job,
you know.
is unique.
It's the rule,
Mhm.
Right.
it's the rule that applies to every piece of property in LaGrange County. We do it all the time on flats, you're limited to one driveway. It's
Yeah, you really shouldn't be bad mouthing the county engineer. I don't like that much at all.
Well, I'm not really bad mouth. I just wish you would be like. we could
I don't like it at all. Yeah, you are. I don't like it at all.
Anything else?
So basically, if we approve this, it still has to be approved by the driveway before it even goes through.
before you get building permit,
Yeah.
correct.
Well, they have to agree on a driveway situation, but
Right.
I guess my question in that situation is even the existing driveway that's there for the cottage isn't within their tolerances. So what do I do there? How do I get to my new building? That's my question. I mean, even if we switch the whole building around and switch the doors and did all kinds of different things there to make it work on the existing driveway, that is still too close by the county's
Right.
records.
Right.
So what do I do? I'm not sure. I don't know, I would assume, I mean, we're going to a variance meeting for setbacks for the building. What's my next step? Is there a variance that I can go to for a driveway? I mean, is there something like that? I don't know.
She
No,
told me no.
Okay.
there's not.
We're ready to vote on this petition?
I don't know, we've never voted on a variance before that has been denied a driveway permit.
Earlier, bro.
No, it's not our problem. I don't have an issue with replacing the house with the garage. And I guess that's what we're voting on.
You're voting on the setback from the
Yeah.
property line. It's at 18 where we require 25. That's what you're voting on.
the question there is, can you live with a building being directly in line with the other buildings? I'm ready.
Our vote.
The approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, and general welfare of the community. Jerry,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Glenn,
Yes,
David.
Yes.
Use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. Tyler,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Glenn.
yes.
The strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property. Glenn?
No.
Stephen?
Yes.
Jerry?
Yes.
Yes,
Tyler?
Yes.
your petition's been approved. Thanks for coming in.
Next on the agenda is 25B36, Greenfield Township, Section 24, Township 38 North, Phase 11 East, in Zone L1. It's located at 6006 North, 1200 East Orland. The developmental variance for a 4-foot side yard setback for a 3-seasons room and deck with 6 required in the L1 zoning district. Here's our site plan. This is what they're proposing here in green. This is existing. This is what we have on here. Have a representative, have you made an address?
Zach Estes, 6565 East, 200 South LaGrange. Angela is wanting to remove an existing enclosed porch off the front of the house and add a 12 by 14 3-seasons room along with a deck. The building currently doesn't meet the 6-foot setback, and we would just like to continue the existing building line out to the lake.
Anything else?
No, I don't think so.
Anybody else want to speak in favor of this petition? Okay.
I drove up, my name is Charles Pratt. I live in Fort Wayne, 9536 Pinto Lane, Fort Wayne, Indiana. I own the property immediately to the north of their property. They've been gracious enough to walk through their whole plans. I find no problem whatsoever with regard to my view of the lake or any kind of adverse impact that it would have on the value of my property, nor would it have any adverse impact into the enjoyment of my property or the enjoyment of the lake, and I fully support the petition.
Anybody else want to speak in favor of this petition tonight? Anybody want to remonstrate against this petition tonight? We'll close the public hearing. So when you, is the homeowner here?
Yes.
Yeah.
So can you stand up here for me? What's your name?
Angela Langevin, 8089 Sunday, Lambertville, Michigan.
So when you come to your property, do you come in off 595 and park on the,
No.
where do you guys have a
We
drive?
have there's a little lane that I think maybe 4 cottages.
Okay.
Is that like Lakeview or something like that? Is that what the sign said? That confused me, finding your house.
Yeah, same.
Well, I noticed she owned the one just off 595, so I just walked across, but I came down here to the south. Yeah.
And
Yeah, she owns this one too.
my first thought was that you should combine the properties, but I see that there's an easement there. What is that easement for then?
It's for cottages behind us.
Okay, that's how they get to the lakefront?
Correct.
Okay.
I think maybe 2 lots.
Then use it as a walkway then, or,
Yeah, there's a 5-foot easement.
okay. No boats or anything like that down on the lake. They just use it as an easement to get to the lake.
5 feet down at the lake, they can put a dock out.
They can put a dock out.
They can put a boat. And we're put a boat on the dock.
Fascinating. I don't think that's really allowed, but that's okay.
Oh, we have a clarification, that's not my property. No.
No, you're, I recognize your name. When I look at Beacon, I look at the adjoiners and so forth, I recognize your name. Thanks for the clarification.
How deep is the porch that you're taking off now?
8 feet.
So you're adding 6 foot of enclosed porch there?
Yes. That'd be nice.
Can I go back to that, the layout of the plans?
Wow.
Here we go. Yeah. So, okay, so you got 4 feet extra. You're going from 8 to 12. So you're adding 4 feet towards the lake. That's just an enclosed, it just has regular walls and windows or,
Yeah, it's basically just gonna be a three seasons room. I mean, just windows all the way around it. Little short stub walls.
What they're adding on is more than 50% of what is existing, so that's why they end up like.
okay. And then the setbacks.
With the
Footprint.
setbacks, yeah.
Footprint wise, right?
Footprint-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the length. so.
Okay. Has nothing to do with the view shed or anything. Okay.
One small corner of an open deck is in that view shed, but
I was gonna.
But
that
there's a
was-
house that sits in front of that too.
yeah.
So that was a question that I have, is there a open deck condition has to be put on that deck to not cover it?
But I'm not sure that really matters because the whole house sits in the view shed on the, I'm not
Yeah.
sure what that address would be.
And the gentleman just spoke, it would be his view shed that he was speaking of, but it's
Right.
very minimal.
Very
Well, and if you extend that view shed south, there's another building on the south side of 595 that blocks the remainder of the view shed.
Mm-hmm.
Clarify, there is no view problem for my.
I mean, you surely can put a condition that the deck not be covered, that's fine.
So the question that I had is, would there be an issue with the view shed if that deck went to a 2-story home?
Not to the lake.
Okay.
I looked at that very closely.
If it wouldn't be a problem with that, then there's no condition needed really.
Well, he may not own that forever, you know,
Yeah, that's true.
but yeah.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, let me do a condition that they can't cover that deck.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to not cover that deck. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Same sign, condition carried.
Now I'm ready to vote.
Everybody else? Yep. Let's have a vote.
The approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, and general welfare of the community. David,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Nick.
Yes.
Use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. Tyler,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
The strict application of the term of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property. Ken,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
and Tyler.
Yes.
This petition's been approved. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Moving on, 25 June 37, Bloomfield Township, section 25, Township 37 North, Township 10 East, it's zone A1. Located at 5245 East, 025 South LaGrange. We're asking for a developmental variance to split off 10 acres, where 2 to 5 is required in the A1 zone district.
Good evening. I'm Robert Mishler. My address
Hold on,
is,
hold on. Bobby's not done yet.
oh, I'm sorry.
Put on the brakes.
Wait, Robbie.
I get to show the property.
Okay.
This is what they are planning on cutting off. This is the residence here. They access it off of 25.
The county road. Yeah.
Representative? No. What's your turn?
I'm Robert Mishler, and my mailing address is 0140 South 500 East LaGrange. I live at 518 Poplar Street. So this belongs to James. He's here. He owns 23 acres. He accesses off of County Road 25 there, the dirt road. And he wants to sell that 10 off the back that is unused ground except for hunting. I mean, you can't hardly walk across 95% of it. So his goal is just, he he just wants to improve the rest of his property, and he wants to build a new pole barn there and put up some new fences. He still has some livestock there that he wants to keep around. And as he gets older, the less money he has, and this is a good way of generating some income and of something that absolutely has no value to him. What he's keeping, there is some pasture land that we're going to fence off. But the whole thing is, if you can see how poor it is. Actually, there's a steam engine and some teams of horses buried back there that didn't make it through the quicksand. So, but you can see the lines where they, I don't know how many years, it was way before Grandpa owned that, but yeah, you can see where they tried to get that drained out, because 20 used to be a sinkhole. They had, for years, they had a hard time holding that, and actually 20 ran on 25 and came down by the Monument Works. But anyways, I guess that doesn't matter here tonight. But so anyways, he wants to sell that off there and generate some income for him that he can do things he wants to do, and it actually has selling that off has no adverse effect on anybody around it. I personally own on that side. I tried to contact the Conservancy. I never got a response back from them, but they probably got a letter, didn't they? Yeah. Okay. So did they respond to you? Would I have found out or not? Okay.
Didn't send anything back to
Okay.
you.
All right. Okay. Because I tried multiple times to get a hold of them, because I mean, we've actually sold them ground before that. So anyways, I guess it's all wetlands, and I mean, it's really has no value for anything else. It's unbuildable. Sold it that way. Just good for hunting, and it's surrounded by farmland and more.
Did you say
wetlands.
unbuildable? Is that what you just said?
Literally, there's, I don't know what you'd build back there, a floating house.
That's not what I heard. That's why I asked you.
Oh, unbuildable.
I heard unbiddable, and I'm
Oh.
like, this.
No. So I don't know. I mean, I know you're supposed to, but we wanted to try and keep as much for him as we could. So that leaves him 13 acres there and 10 that to go off of it.
I know there's going to be some questions.
Okay.
Anybody else want to speak in favor of this petition tonight? Anybody want to remonstrate against this petition tonight? Close the public hearing. I guess I'm wanting an explanation on, was this not parceled off before you sold it?
It is not. As far as the sale is pending. The sale is pending tonight. Is that what you're saying?
I guess, why did you not parcel it off?
Beforehand, because I ran out of time to do a meeting. So we sold it pending the approval tonight.
That rubs me wrong. Very wrong.
Well, I apologize. I mean, it
just doesn't seem right. It seems like you're holding off to see what you got for bids to sell it. And if it didn't sell, then I don't know. It just seems.
No, it was going to sell no matter what. I mean, but we made it pending. So
what happens when it's denied tonight and you have to go to your buyer and say, I didn't have this parcel. I didn't have everything in order first.
Right.
That's a bad spot.
I
feel like
understand.
we're in a bad spot.
Well, and he knows that. I've talked to him, and I've told, and James understands too. But
I don't like being put in bad spots.
Yeah. Well, I didn't mean to put him in a bad spot, but I don't want to be turned down because but.
I guess, do you see what I'm saying?
No, I do. I guess I didn't think about it that way at all. I just, because we've sold stuff pending before, and
because
so
we're going to look like the bad guy by turning it down.
Or I will.
Well, I would hope so, but
Yeah.
you're gonna be, you can go to the buyer and be like, oh, the board didn't approve this, so it's their fault. I mean,
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't, I guess I guess if I, yeah, okay.
Your website does not say it's pending.
yeah, it
Look,
says
It
sold.
does
says
on the
sold.
contract.
It
It
said
does.
on the contract. Okay, all right.
Because I got on Schrader website and I looked as well, and it says sold.
Okay.
It also said on your sign out there that you could walk across that, and I started back in there and I thought, no, you can't walk across that.
That was a trap.
It'd have been a trap, yes. Yeah.
Literally
I
and
was
figuratively.
I guess if I would, being what it is, I didn't think it was going to be an issue, or I wouldn't even.
Well, Richard, I would agree with you. Oh, I'm sorry, Robert. Richard comes to my house all the time. If this was farm ground, I would probably have a little more of a problem with it.
I understand
Because the A1 district was designed to protect farm ground. However, this is not. And as we were making our zoning maps, it was much easier to do an all-encompassing zoning map. And I feel, especially large areas of wetland like this, maybe could be zoned, have their own individual zoning. But with the amount of time that would take, it's unfeasible. But I have very, very little, no problem whatsoever with this variance passing because of what it is.
And I really tried to reach out, and I'm not sure what the deal is with the Conservancy, but I thought they would be, I never got one reply.
A contiguous piece of,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because they own on the other side of 20 also.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, they do.
And it's like they, I think when I worked for Jerry, we sold the green piece there that lays next to him. I think we sold that to him. That's been many years ago, but anyways, I'm getting old too.
It's Klein Lake to the north.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So that's all. Yeah. That's all their property too. Northeast. Yeah. Okay.
That's
a park.
I've seen that swamp and.
I'm sure it is dry. We're down 6 inches of rain, so or 7.
We're gonna get it in snow.
Hmm?
We're gonna get it in snow.
What we do? Hold on. 6 inches. 6 inches of rain is 60 inches of snow. About. Okay. Yeah, I don't. The auction was October 22nd. I think it should have been taken care of before that. But Tyler is right. It is after having.
I apologize.
Tried to walk on it. It is
I kind of ran out of time and
nasty.
And
well, in my opinion, the time of the auction is irrelevant, in my opinion, because if you're uncomfortable making the decision on whether to approve this or not,
I want to see ducks in a row first.
I get it, but I would if this was farm ground, I would have no problem voting against it at all. But with what it is, I think this is suitable.
I think in general, though, I went just because of the type of ground. I don't think that really should matter. I mean, I think it's the point.
I get it.
What you're saying is the process was a little skewed.
Yeah. But I mean,
the farm I just sold, I did everything ahead of time so that.
I just don't like seeing it backwards.
Well, and yeah, okay. I understand. But that's why I sold it pending. I didn't absolutely say it's done deal. And
any other comments? Start the vote.
The approval will not be injurious to public health, safety, and general welfare of the community. Lynn,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Use and value of the area of research of property included in the variance cannot be affected and substantially
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
the strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property. Jerry,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
and Nick.
Yes. Petition's been approved. Thanks for coming in.
Appreciate it. Thank you. I won't do that again.
Any other business? Motion to adjourn?
Second.
I'll make the motion.
Yes. I was asking if we had one.
Oh, well, you gotta be careful how you say that. I didn't hear the question mark.
Sorry.
Shoot on the gavel over here.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion is second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Post same sign. We're adjourned.
So the one up on Twin didn't come through.